At this point of time, a lot of people would have watched the sign already, but if you haven't, it's on Disney Plus right now or on ABC. Now, I usually don't do a lot of commentaries, but I have to talk about this series trending right now on Disney Plus, famously known as Bluey. If you don't know Bluey, this show focuses on the relationship amongst families and can be a parenting bible for some. Each episodes are 7 minutes long, but it is jam-packed with different topics which can be very controversial. However, this episode I'm talking about is 28 minutes long, which is equivalent to 4 episodes or 4 Tiny Chimps. Bluey fans, you know what I'm talking about. On to the plot. It mainly focuses on the wedding between 2 returning characters from Double Babysitter in Season 2 and a potential moving out of the healers. That was my reaction at first when it was hinted in Ghost Basket previously. Nevertheless, we'll talk about more along the way. Now, let's get on with the breakdown. The episode kicks off with the healer trios, which I managed to call it. The healer trios, who I'm talking about, are Bandit, Bluey, and Bingo. Bandit's the best character, by the way. We then see this returning character from Dragons, Bucky Dunstan. Now, Bucky Dunstan is a real estate agent who was introduced in the Dragon episode of Bluey. In the scene here, you can still see that Bandit's not really impressed or really happy to see Bucky Dunstan. Maybe he has some sort of grudge against him after that one drawing incident.
Bucky Dunstan, he was in my class.
That doesn't look like a car.
Like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about, everything's all explained in the Dragons episode of Bluey. We obviously see Bluey understanding the fact that this house is going to be sold, but Bingo's like,
Oh, that's nice.
we then see this moment just chilly looking back at the city or what's going to be left behind.
And what's wrong with this city?
Nothing.
Something that all of us will experience later in our lives, like we may move out one day, just leaving all those adventures and memories behind. I mean, like, come on, you must have that feeling, right? I mean, me, I might be happy moving out of the UK. At this point in the video, you may be wondering, why are they moving out of Brisbane? That's the city name, by the way.
This job pays a lot more money, which means we can give you kids a better life.
We still don't know exactly what the job is. This may be the same job of an archaeologist, but in a different, obviously, city section. Or this could be a completely different job that Bandit would want to explore. I don't know, we don't exactly know. But Chili being the best mother towards Bingo and Bluey, she quotes the whole thing that it will be a big adventure. In this next scene, we see Bluey at her primary school called Glasshouse Primary. This fictional school is actually based on in a real life location somewhere in Sanford Valley. I don't exactly know, but I will try and do some research later. Something that Bluey has done, well, this goes for all of some animation series out there. They have used like a lot of real life locations in their fictional verse. Something I would also do in my own production. In this same scene, they talk about the idea of different endings. I mean, all of us obviously want happy endings. Unfortunately, there are obviously bad endings as well, with being the potential moving out. In this same scene, we can see a few representations and a few references as well. Many audiences argue that Bluey has not been very diverse previously. It was a blink of an eye, but Pretzel did mention that he had lesbian moms.
Yeah, like when my guinea pig ran away, my mum's told me he might come back.
I didn't notice at first, so I had to go back to the episode at that scene and turn on the subtitles, and there we have it, mums plural. Another thing that was represented is the idea of families with mixed species in the Blueyverse. As you didn't know, Cornelius, Winton's dad, had to go up with a divorce but eventually found a terrier's mom.
What?
Another mixed species family is obviously Radley Heeler, who is a mixed red and blue healer, and Frisky Sotheby Heeler, who is an English Cocker Spaniel. When Calypso was reading The Farmer to Bluey, she basically says that anything could happen. The story used by Calypso is an actual real life story. This is a story which is obviously based on the consequence of the lucky and the unlucky. So that little real life story is just saying that you'll never know what's going to happen next, regardless of how much luck you have. This scene ends off with,
Everything will work out the way it's supposed to, Bluey.
Banditas! Good news, they wanna buy the house.
What?
so much for happy endings. In this next scene, we meet the gang starting to prepare everything for the wedding. But Stripe, who is the younger brother of Radley and Bandy Healer, comes up with some unexpected news.
Well, you won't be here much longer either, Frisk.
What? Yeah, what?
Initially, we don't exactly know where, but we'll find out later. Some of us will eventually have to make some last changes, as I say, or last minute plans before anything else happens. In this scene here, we see the healers trying to get rid of the for sale sign, but realistically, that won't stop the house from being sold. One thing I want to talk about is how massive their signs are in Australia. Like, compared to the UK and some other countries, we just have like some sort of wooden stand and just like a sign, like a very small one. Like, why is it so big in Australia? I guess it's most likely that it's more clearer to see what's actually inside the house and so forth. Guys, don't attack me about judging the Australia for sale sign. It's so much better than the UK's. This scene kind of reminds me of the time where I make a lot of assumptions that this will happen and so forth. You know what I mean, right?
She's helping us. She's so nice.
Don't tell me how to feel.
Whoa.
Sweetheart, this.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of scared me a bit. Cause the thing is, I've been watching this series for a long time and I don't usually see a lot of characters being angry, such as Frisky's soon-to-be healer.
Poor Jeremy.
If you don't know what is she talking about, then this should explain.
Sorry, mate.
Jeremy, no.
Bluey, you'll have to sit in the front seat.
Is that allowed?
Queensland road rules say that if all the seats are taken, a child older than 4 can sit in the front seat.
Yep, this is an actual Queensland road rule. If all the back seats are taken up, then the child can sit on the front seat. However, in the UK, you have to be at least 135 centimeters tall, which is around 4'5".
This is the best day of all my life.
I knew when it was my first time to sit on the front seat, I was the king of the world. So over a few next scenes, it's just a car chase of them trying to crack down to find Frisky. Obviously, he says that he's not really good at this stuff. The guy's just trying to make a living of working in an oil rig. We all have that moments of our parents' cars having them little features. We now see a returning character from the Slide episode called Flappy, who is a butterfly. This turned into some butterfly effect where they finally found where Frisky was hiding, shown from the big sign where Chili is looking at. Here, see what I did there? We obviously see how the writers like using real life locations, which also a lot of animators / writers also do, including me. If you didn't know, this Brisbane landmark is called Mount Cootha. In this next scene, it's quite of a touching moment. Basically, Chili wanted to act brave for Bluey and saying that this will be a big adventure by saying the good lie, which a lot of our parents have done, just to encourage Bluey that obviously things will work out. That one moment when Chili said,
You took your first steps in that house.
something that I also like is how emotional these actors can be. Another thing that I like about this show. This obviously is referencing to that one episode called Baby Race, where obviously Bluey took her first steps. We finally see the awesome Radley Healer finally make an appearance in the episode.
It finds me.
I know you like it here.
I do.
After all that, they finally saved the wedding.
Welcome to Dark Souls.
Everyone was so hyped to see the scene of Brandy being pregnant. This is because of the episode Onesies. We all came to the conclusion that Brandy was infertile, but in this scene, it actually changes the whole meaning. I guess she was having issues with fertility. Maybe Brandy couldn't find anyone else to help create a family. You may be wondering, how did she get pregnant either way? Well, the help of IVF. If you don't know, IVF is how the fertilization is done in a laboratory instead. Unfortunately, I can't say more about it here, but you can find out more with your local hospital instead. One other valid reason is that she obviously found someone to help her create a family. Another surprise is that we finally see Grandpa Bob. After being gone for so long, we all just assumed that Grandpa Bob was dead.
Good night, Grandpa Bob, wherever you are. Statue World!
We now finally see the marriage of Frisky and Radley. We can see a bunch of new characters here in this scene. On the left, we can see Bingo, Bluey, and Muffin Healer. A few new species introduced in the Blueyverse. A shiny Alfie? On the right, we see one other new character, Rocco, who made a first appearance in Food Bat and Wagon Ride, Snickers' mom, Maynard from the Grandpa episode, as well as more cattle, Randy Cattle as well, Grandpa Bob, who is not dead, Nana, Tracy and Socks Healer, a new character called Cookie, Busker, who is voiced by the musician of the series, Joff Bush, Chili Stripe Bandit and Radley Healer. Also Frisky and her dad. My word, there's a lot of characters.
What were you doing in India for so long, Baba?
Well, girls,
He was off trying to find himself.
This guy went to India just to find himself. Now we know why he's been gone for so long. In this scene, Randy makes a quick announcement.
Everyone, Brisky and I have an announcement. No, Mum, not that.
Oh, biscuits.
Maybe in the future we'll see another potential child, with the obvious clue of Randy Cattle, and possibly the new weds of Frisky and Radley Healer. The announcement that Randy made is that they'll stay in Brisbane. This was obviously such a surprise since he worked in an oil rig somewhere elsewhere in another city. We can see how shocked Bandit and Chili were. This could be an inspiration of them also staying in Brisbane as well. Not saying that they will. A potential divorce? They literally talked about different parenting styles. The next scene is where the dancing happens, with the song being a remix version of Dance Mode. We're now at the part where they start to move out. We now see Bucky Dunstan again, putting the sticker up as sold. Yeah.
What day is it?
Jeez, how drunk was Stripe last night? In the scene, obviously Bingo finally realizes what is happening.
No, I thought we sold it but still lived in it.
No, honey. We're moving to another city.
Is Layla coming with us?
Well, no.
What?
Over the next few scenes, we see a returning, let's say, character from Mum's School called Greenie. If you didn't know, Greenie is the helium balloon who is depicted as hyperactive, something that all mums have to deal with. We meet the two sheepdogs again on Mount Cootha. They wanted to see the new house but couldn't, but they eventually found the lucky coin that Bluey had, a nice little butterfly effect created from Flappy. Thanks to the butterfly effect created from Flappy, they found a house with a pool. If you didn't know, let me do a recap. The sheepdogs wanted a house with a pool, but the healer's house didn't have any.
Don't tell me that.
The house with a pool is actually Winton's house. Cornelius finally sold their house to live in with the terriers. Sorry guys for barging, but you left your... Oh. You know what, never mind. So a few more things to say about this episode is obviously how well written this is. Although a few audiences have argued that this ending was bad, people on Reddit and Facebook are talking about it, but in my opinion it is a well written episode and it can make a lot of audiences cry. Another thing that I like about this show is the secret plot build up that's been obviously building up throughout season 3. On the new set of episodes that have been released in season 3, in the episode of Stickbird, we can see obviously Bandit acting differently than his rather normal self. As of now, a lot of people have argued that it was the reason of moving to another city, although the other theory of just being tired of everything is another valid answer. A few new final regards, like obviously the new diverse representations that have been shown throughout the episode, the idea of mixed families as well, and the idea of moving out to a different city. So overall, this episode I would definitely like to give it a 10 out of 10. Obviously, I would admit that this episode had made me cry a lot, and I still cry even watching that little scene in the end. So is this the end of the series? No, there's still one more episode coming out on Sunday, 21st of April, called Surprise. Funny how my first commentary is about Bluey. But if you want to see more commentaries with different topics obviously talked about in this channel, then comment down below please, I need some ideas. For the new subscribers out here, obviously make sure to subscribe. I do a lot of speed draws, animation, and obviously the new topic of commentary. So I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. This is actually getting really sad. Alec, would you rather take the job or you want to do it for your family, mate? No, why? Stop, why? Why does this make me cry? Stop. I'm actually rubbing my eyes with my plushies.
Oh my god, they get to keep the house. The house is so iconic. Oh my god, the Kiwi work. Oh my, why? Why, man? Why is it gonna make me cry?
I still get teared up after watching that. Why do you get teared up over a kids show? Well, yeah, so what if it's a kids show? Actually, this show was written for adults and children. Yeah, we're talking about the parents here. So what? Look, I am an animator / storyteller of some sort, and this is some really emotional writing. And even when I'm still recording this, I get teared up from that. Mate, you'd rather work on the animation rather than doing a commentary of a kids show. Say that one more time and I will pull up a domain expansion on you. Heh, you can't even defeat my own domain. I'm the strongest after all. Oh yeah? Let's see how powerful your infinite void is. Heh, bring it on. Domain expansion. Infinite void.